even more provocative, more compelling, and more profound at this very moment right now. And as soon as I do that, then I'm going to pass it back over to Greg. So pay attention, folks, because I wrote this for you. Here it is. Today, right now, you have more tools, more knowledge, and greater opportunities at your fingertips than any generation that came before you. Think about it. That's what innovation has done for us. That's what technology made. That's how technology made the impossible possible, and how the internet opened the entire world for us to see without leaving the comfort of our favorite chair. It gave us possibilities. It gave us entrepreneurship. It allowed us to be adaptable, capable, and self-sufficient. But in the end, it is still up to you, because what is a brick without a person to build with it? What is a car without a person to drive it? What is an opportunity without a person to take advantage of it? It's not what the tools, knowledge, and opportunity can do. It's about what you can do with them. You are the writer and they are the painter. You are the painter and they are the canvas. You are what you want to be. And right now, we are living in the future that we always dreamt of. We have the ability to change the way we live, where we live, and who we want to live with. What do you want in this world? And right now, CoopCrowd is empowering you to change the way you see the world, the way you live in this world, and where you want to live in this world. Today, right now, you have more tools, more knowledge, and greater opportunity at your fingertips than any generation that came before you. And most importantly, you have CoopCrowd. So here is the question. What will you do with it? Greg is going to lay it all out for you. Let's get busy with it. Greg, over to you.
Hey, man, awesome. Awesome words. I appreciate you so much, David. And, you know, it's so interesting because I don't think anything in this world happens by accident. Everything happens for a divine purpose. And we were on a collision course all of our lives, because in my years of marketing on and offline, I always wanted to empower people on my team to become smarter than money. And when I saw your projects and your platform, I knew it was home for me, and you have become a brother to me. And I just have all the respect in the world for your vision, your commitment, and that you are that juggernaut that we talk about. So kudos to you and all the panelists that we have here. You guys are in for a treat today. But what I really want to do, just getting this thing started off, I just need some permission from each and every one of you, because I'm going to be talking to you from my head and heart to your head and heart. And I may say some things that may seem offensive. That's not my intention whatsoever. I just don't want to be muzzled today. I want to really get this across to each and every one of you, because what we have our hands on is what all of us over the years, I don't care what you've been involved in the past, is exactly what we have been looking for. And so if I have your permission, allow me to proceed. I know a lot of you have been wondering what's going on with Crowd and things of that nature, and what's going on with Co-op 50/50. I want to address that before we go right into the meat of what Crowd is all about. One of the things I love about David T. Rosen is that he's never shut his doors down on any business that he's created, nor will he do Co-op 50/50. For those of you that understand the power of Co-op 50/50 like we did, I thought it was the best thing cooking when I got involved. And we saw so many people around the world winning, but it wasn't the best. It was good, but it wasn't the best until he introduced CoopCrowd. And I'm going to talk about that here for each and every one of you. But for those of you that are still holding on to Co-op 50/50, we have recordings, we have tools. You can continue to do that. But I promise you, once you understand what Crowd is all about, you'll transition over to what we have going on. The way in which I look at Co-op 50/50 is this. It was like an SUV that did heavy lifting, got the job done, had good gas mileage, but it didn't have the best gas mileage, if you will. And what Crowd is bringing to the table is reoccurring residual component, which allows each and every one of us to breathe a little bit easier because it gives us a sense of certainty in these uncertain times. So, and what it's powered by is solar power, and it's a play on words, SOULAR, the soul of the global community. And with that kind of power, there is no stopping us. It's unlimited. And that's why we're going to change the world together. And this is no hype. I'm here to tell you guys, this is the best thing smoking. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here real quickly. We're going to jump right into this thing because I want you guys to understand that this is absolutely mind-boggling what we're doing here. Okay. Here's the deal. A global problem requires a global solution, and CoopCrowd is that solution, family. I want you guys to understand, when you look at what David talked about in terms of the Internet of Things and technology and what it's put us in this moment in time to truly self-actualize like never before in human history. And I know some of you have been looking at, the television. You've seen 2 billionaires that have gone up into space, and they're basically ushering in space travel. Who would have thought that we would be around today to see human beings going up into space other than astronauts? But here's what I want you guys to understand, in my humble opinion, is that I'd rather see 100 million people around the world having their monthly expenses taken care of, 100 million people around the world where we eradicate poverty. And so what CoopCrowd is going to do is going to make what these 2 billionaires did pale in comparison. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about today, is the CoopCrowd revolution. And for those of you that have been involved in marketing over the years, you've heard a lot of different companies out here that promised but never delivered. One of the things that I can assure you, if we do what we're designed to do, CoopCrowd will deliver more than you can even imagine. It reminds me of the Roger Bannister story, when prior to him coming along in 1954, it was thought it was humanly impossible to run a sub 4-minute mile. He comes along and he does it. And from that day forward, there's been thousands, tens of thousands of people who've run a sub 4-minute mile, including high school kids. And what I'm getting ready to tell you guys is what CoopCrowd is going to do is going to break that kind of mentality, that there's not a company out there that can help save this planet. We are the tip of the spear, and that's what CoopCrowd is really all about. We're talking about $1 a day, okay? $1 a day can keep the bill collectors away. And I'm going to break this thing down for each and every one of you here real quickly. Now, there's maybe some guests on the line. I know there's some people who come from a marketing background. They may be looking at this for the very first time. I want you guys to understand how powerful this is. This is the strategy that we're going to be laying out here for each and every one of you. And so we're talking about 3 for 33 days at $1 a day. In other words, you register and become an active donor, which most of you are already a registered donor. Then you help 3 people within 3 days who want to live a debt-free, a stress-free, and a financially free life. And then you teach them to help 3 as well. And you do that for 33 days, and your life will be completely different. I'm going to also be giving you guys some scripts as well that you can share with people, because we have a 2:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time corporate overview on the CoopCrowd that we're going to knock out the park. And I'm going to charge each and every one of you to get on the horn after this training and get as many people as you know and love in front of this information, because we have lives to save. So let me go ahead and break this thing down for each and every one of you here real quickly. It's 3, 3, and 33. So in days 1 through 3, what you're talking about here is identifying at least 3 people who want to live debt-free, stress-free, financially free lives. And you're talking about a $26 per month reoccurring or residual donation that's taking place there. At that moment in time, the genius of this is that your monthly subscription donation portion is absolutely free, because $26 is more than the $25. Now, let me rewind here real quickly, because there's some new people on here. We go ahead and take $84 up front. That's 3-month subscription. That's $25 times 3, which is $75. Plus there's a $3 hosting fee. So that's where the $84 comes from, all right? So now in days 4 through 6, You teach those three to identify their three. So 3 and 9 is 12 active donors that you have on your second level. And your residual or reoccurring donations on a month-to-month basis is $38 on that level alone. Now you've unlocked the bonuses, which will take your residual donations through the roof, through the stratosphere at that moment in time. This is it right here. If each and every one of you identify your three or more and teach those three or more to identify their three or more, you can sit back and relax and duplicate that process and you are done. Watch your money grow, literally. Now, here's what I want you guys to see here. In days 7 through 9, you have a total of 39 active donors and you have $87 in residual reoccurring donations. Days 10 through 12, you have 120 active donors and your residual donations is $249. In days 13 through 15, your residual or recurring donations is $538. And days 16 through 18, you have a total of 1,092 donors and your residual is $1,791, all from a $25 donation. But here's the deal. At this moment in time, each and every one of you, within 16 to 18 days, when executing this game plan, you have $1,791. Here's what you do. Upgrade to the $250 subscription based platform as well at that moment in time. And this is when you 10x your reoccurring residual donations, because all you want to do is add a zero to the existing donations that you have. So think about this for a moment. With those same three people, it went from $26 to $260 in reoccurring donations. Then you have 380, 870, just add a zero. Here you have $17,910 in reoccurring donations. Now, your $84, your $25 matrix, which is a 3x10 matrix, is still going to be going. But now you've opened up a second matrix on the $250 subscription that is also going independently yet simultaneously, because you're going to be having your donors follow you. Now, let's keep it moving forward. And I just want to focus on the 25 moving forward. So in days 19 through 21, now you have a total of 32, a little bit over 3,200 donors. But now your reoccurring donations is $4,183. The genius in this is that now 90% of the global population's monthly expenses are covered. I want you guys to really think about what we're doing here with CoopCrowd. We're talking about an $84 upfront subscription at $1 a day, which allows most people on this planet to participate. And we can show them how to split that up and get to a place where each and every person on this planet can get to that mark right there. And we're talking about eradicating 90% of people's expenses on a monthly basis. People, that is mind-boggling when you think about that. Now, let's keep it moving forward here. On days 22 through 24, you're talking a little bit over $10,000 per month in recurring donations. And we're going to go all the way down to days 28 through 30. You're at $175,589 in residual reoccurring donations. And then days 31 through 33, you're close to $1 million in residual donations. But I know David has a trick up his sleeve. It's actually more than that. But here's this thing. We like to underpromise and over-deliver. So when you guys look at this process here, as great as 50-50 is, like I said, it's good, but it doesn't have the best gas mileage because it's like hit and miss. All right. The thing that I want you guys to understand is that what David's put in place, and what I love about what he did, even with 50-50, not closing the doors because there may be a lull in production, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of company owners out there that the moment that there's a lull in production, because they convince people to part ways with their money because they promised you 2% daily. Okay, the moment they see their eyes and they see the numbers starting to slow down, they shut down the website and they run off with the money. Not David T. Rosen, because of his transparency. And I'm going to talk about that here more momentarily, because I know there's a lot of people that's looking for a home. And I have an interesting perspective because not only am I in the field, but I'm on the corporate side. So my feet are planted on both sides of the fence. And I'm going to share with you guys that perspective here momentarily. But when you guys look at this, 3, who gets 3 for 33 days duplicated at $1 a day can effectuate the kind of global change that everyone on this planet so desperately needs. And so when I talk about hope for a hurting world, that's what CoopCrowd is going to be able to do. Can you imagine the donations flowing through this entire planet synergistically in a mutually beneficial way? I am jacked to the highest jackticity. Now, let's move forward with this thing. I'm going to give you guys a script or two. Make your own words. I'm not the biggest person when it comes to script. I like to be very, very natural and authentic. And so put it in any way that you want to put it into when you're talking to people that you know and love. So here's one for you that you can talk to people about. If I can show you and a few friends how to turn $1 a day into $4,000 every month for the rest of your life, would you be interested? I want you guys to think about that for a moment. And I've already started testing this out just in passing conversations. And I can't tell you how many people said, hey, can you rewind that? What do you mean $1 a day and it can take care of my monthly expenses? I'm telling you guys, if you offer that pitch to people and they don't bite and they're not interested in taking time to look at some information, you need to lose their number quickly. Okay, so once again, if I can show you and a few friends how to turn $1 a day into $4,000 every month for the rest of your life, would you be interested? Here's another one that you can use. If I can show you and a few friends how to meet your monthly bills every month just for $1 a day, would you be willing to take a look? If I can show you and a few friends how to meet your monthly bills every month for just $1 a day, would you be willing to take a look? People who would say no to that, who's really serious about living a better quality of life? Nobody. Here's another one, a very, very simple one. And let me go back here because I want you guys to take a snapshot for those of you that are looking at this. Go ahead and take a picture of this because you need to be using this today, okay? Here's another one for you. What's your monthly household overhead? You give a friend a call. You know, hey, I'm just so excited. I need to ask you a very simple question. What's your monthly household overhead? And they tell you whatever it may be. Here's your simple reply, family. Fill in the blank, my cousin, my friend, my coworker, my pastor, okay, a stranger. Just introduce me to a cooperative where people are covering all of their monthly expenses for just $1 a day. When will you have 10 to 15 minutes? Or invite them to a live overview. Keep it very, very simple. My friend, my cousin, my father, my coworker, my pastor, a stranger, it doesn't matter. Just introduce me to a cooperative where people are covering all of their monthly expenses for just $1 a day. When will you have 10 to 15 minutes to look at a recorded overview or invite them to an overview? People, one of the things that I love about CoopCrowd, it's like a sports car. You have to be lean and mean and light on your feet. Money loves speed. And in our process, duplication is so paramount. And so it's very, very important that we can duplicate. We have to remove the stickiness in the conveyor belt so that we can help a lot of people in this process. And it has to be something that the masses can do. I had a mentor of mine tell me a long time ago, he said, Greg, in order to dine with the classes, you have to appeal to the masses. There is nothing on this planet right now that appeals to the masses more than CoopCrowd. So let's get with the crowd. Now, some people are going to ask you, well, what's a cooperative? Funny you should ask. Here's a couple things that you can simply reply with. A financial initiative or project that is, in quotations, owned by its members. Now, why do I say owned by its members? Because we get 100% of the donations. It doesn't move unless the community gives it the soul that it needs to move forward to effectuate the global change that we're looking for. It's a financial initiative or project that is owned by its members. Another one, a global funding community that is owned by its members. When will you have 10 to 15 minutes to look at some information or invite them to a live conference? And when they come to the overview, we are literally going to show them how for $1 a day and a few friends, they can eliminate their monthly expenses to a mathematical certainty. It's just a matter of execution. So here's what I want you guys to look at when you look at what our cooperative is all about, because I know a lot of people think, oh, this is just like MLM or network marketing or any other thing, and it's not. I need for you guys to understand what cooperatives are doing. When you look at the job over here, you see that center dot? It's looking down, all right? So it's looking down and all those dots around it. So it's a pyramidal structure. Same thing with MLM, that's decentralized, okay? Those dots are independent pyramidal structures. Cooperatives. The beautiful thing about cooperatives is that it's about the project that we have, the CoopCrowd. It's flattening the corporate pyramidal structure and redistributing wealth around this planet like it's never been done before. This is ingenious. There's never been this before. So when you look at the fact that every donation helps 10 people, in Co-op 50/50, it helped 2. In CoopCrowd, it's 10. Every donation effectuates the global community worldwide. So when you look at this distribution of wealth, because right now, whether you guys realize it or not, we are right now in the middle of the greatest transference of wealth in human history. And I know a lot of people may not realize that, but I'm telling you, the bubble's going to bust, and you want to be in a place where you have enough cash reserve to be able to purchase discounted assets. More on that later. But we are a different animal. And for $1 a day, help 3. Teach those 3 to help 3 at $1 a day. And we're talking about eradicating poverty worldwide. So once again, here are the very simple steps that we simply do. We give, we share, and we receive. And once you help your 3 or more, your monthly donation or subscription of your donation is free. Plus, once your 3 help 3, it unlocks your unlimited bonuses residually towards your cause. See, what David T. Rosen could have done, like some MLM companies do, and I'm not here to knock MLM because many of you know I cut my teeth in that industry, is that he could have put an obstacle course in place. He could have put volume here. You're going to have this many people here, and it would have made it a lot challenging for the average person to hit those goals, to unlock unlimited bonuses. But he kept it very, very straightforward and simple. So the 3 steps that we all have to do is register and become an active donor, which most of you on this line have already done. And if you haven't, you need to get in Crowd ASAP. For those of you that are still doing 50/50 and you're brand new, I get it. We understand. And we understand how people don't like change, but we want to put each and every one of you in the best position. You can still do Co-op 50/50. You can still go ahead and do the 25 on the 50/50, the $29.99, and get involved in Crowd as well until you transition over completely on Crowd. Step number 2, help 3 people register and become an active donor. Help 3 people who for $1 a day and a few friends can become debt-free, stress-free, and financially free people, and then teach duplication, and then you're done. Those are the 3 steps that anybody with a pulse on this planet can do. And what's next? Watch your money grow. The unfortunate thing is this, and this is what hurts my heart more than anything, is that I see this thing clear as water. But a lot of people bring their baggage to the table. They look at this with squinty eyes because you've been beat up from the feet up. You know, you've been involved in pump and dump, so you've had owners that didn't fulfill their promise. I'm here to tell you, you got to wipe the slate clean. It reminds me of that one of my favorite movies. It's called Instinct. And Anthony Hopkins, he's one of my favorite actors. And I'm not going to go into detail, but a scene in the movie, there was a mountain gorilla in the zoo in a cage, and the door was open. And the mountain gorilla didn't run for freedom. And Anthony Hopkins turned to the guy and said, he's not going to run for freedom because his will has been broken to the point that even though the doors of freedom have been opened, he won't go for it. And I know a lot of you on this line, you may feel that way. And I'm here to tell you the law of life is the law of belief. As the Creator is my witness, go for it. All right, you got to go ahead. The gates of freedom have been open. Myself and David have many conversations about what's going on. Sometimes his frustration as an owner comes from the fact that he's given us the master key and we're not taking advantage of it because we're bringing baggage to the table. No more from this day forward. Co-op Crowd is the global solution. So we have all green lights, people. I mean, not literally. I mean, we're talking about all green lights. The lane is flat. There's no hills here. There's no road construction. Okay, we have the Bugatti of opportunities. Put the pedal to the metal, stop pumping your brakes here. So let's go ahead and some talking points here. Where your attention goes, energy flows, all right? Whatever you think about, you bring about. What should your attention be on? And who controls your attention? It's 100% your responsibility. Nobody else can control where you put your attention on. If you're busy putting your attention on, well, the PowerPoint didn't dot the I there. There was misspelling here. I don't like the way Greg talks. I don't like the way Isaac Moody talks. I don't like the way this or that. Then all you're doing is making excuses. All right. That's not where our attention should be. As a global community, there are so many people out here hurting. You guys saw on Wednesday, Lynn Cave poured her heart out. Maya Campbell talked about coming back to Detroit, Michigan on her knuckles, asked her family for 2 years to get on her feet, and she stayed 8, and then co-op changed her life. And that's just 2 examples of thousands of examples around the world. But guess what? There's 100 million people out there that need to understand what it is that we're doing. We don't have time to nitpick, because here's what I want you guys to understand. A mentor shared this with me many years ago. He said, listen, Greg, he said, the ability to observe without judgment is the highest form of intelligence. And when he said it to me back then, I really didn't understand that. But as you mature and you live enough life, you begin to understand how powerful those words are. The ability to observe without judgment is the highest form of intelligence. Nobody on this line is perfect. No one on this line is infallible, but I'll tell you this co-op crowd is damn near close. And all it takes is for us to feed it with our belief level and really share from our heart. If you're really serious about effectuating change worldwide, we're going to see. Otherwise, it's just lip service. So we got to get busy with this program in order to hit the mark, in order to effectuate the kind of change that we want. So I had some leaders call me about what's going on with, the back office relative to We Prove It Free. We're not going to talk about that today, okay? We're going to be making updates there. Those are like enhancements to a car. And once those things get done, trust me, we're going to go ahead and do a training on that. And it's going to basically give you a turbocharge to your marketing efforts. But that's not the focus. You don't need that to pick up the phone and ask a handful of people if they want to figure out how for $1 a day they can take care of their monthly expenses. You don't need a marketing tool for that. You just need a heart to do that. Now, let's talk about transparency. We talk about all green lights. I'm going to speak about a couple things. I want to talk about more specifically David T. Rose in here. For a lot of people, he comes across as abrasive. Maybe some people think he's a prick. Yes, I said it. And one of the things I can say is that, yeah, sometimes he is. All right. And I got a perspective being on both sides of the field. Because when you have conversations with him and I have moved a lot of furnitures around intellectually. We've gone at it. You guys have no idea what goes on behind the scenes when you're building a multi-billion-dollar company and you're looking to help 100 million or more people around the planet. There's going to be some furniture movings. There's going to be some hurt feelings that take place. But once again, what I look at is his heart and his intentions. Does he need to make some apologies to some people? In my opinion, he does. Okay. Maybe I have to do the exact same thing. Maybe some of you have to do the exact same thing, ask for forgiveness or apologize. But we got to clear the air and understand we have all green lights. We talk about company owners. All right. Here he is on screen, his background of his penthouse. His grandkids sometimes be there, on screen, his granddaughter, his daughter. If he was the type of owner that was going to be a part of a pump and dump and take the money and run, you think that he would be that wide open and showing his home? No, I have his address. I'm here to tell you, he's been doing this for 20 years. So even if you go online and Google and hear all the MLM and all the, all the stuff that you hear out there, I guarantee you, if people did enough investigation, they can find something on you too. So we got to understand the transparency is here. That's why I have it in all caps. But can you handle the truth? The numbers are there. We have all green lights. The ownership is there. The leadership team is there. It's just now time to go to work, you guys. So your roadmap to being debt-free, stress-free, financially free has been laid out for each and every one of you. 3 and 3 for 33 days, duplicating that process with unwavering belief, unwavering at $1 a day. And as I begin to wrap this thing up, one of the things I want you guys to understand once again is that there's going to come a time when there's going to be a financial tsunami that's going to hit this planet. It really is going to happen. All right. They're pumping a lot of money into this deal. And I'm not going to get political. David said, don't get political, and I'm not going to do that. But what I will tell you guys is this: use CoopCrowd to build up your cash reserve. Once you get to a place of becoming financially free because your monthly responsibilities are well taken care of, use CoopCrowd to build up your reserves, because I'm here to tell you there's going to be a lot of discounted assets for those of you smart enough to take heed to my word. And as a global community, guess what? We can go ahead and clean up shop together. So I'm flat out excited. Once again, we have all green lights. We are the global solution to a global problem. We are, each and every one of you, and myself included, we're part of history. I can care less about 2 billionaires flying up into space, all right? I want the world to see CoopCrowd as the initiative that we are to effectuate global change. We are a hope for a hurting world, and I'm flat out excited and committed and honored to be doing this with each and every one of you. But now it's no more excuses. All excuses are equal, because David T. Rosen has laid out a plan and put together a system that anyone with a pulse can have success. And as I wrap this thing up and I turn it over to a few leaders here, this is what Roger Bannister also said: however ordinary each of us may seem, we are all in some way special, can do things that are extraordinary, perhaps until then, even thought impossible. And I believe that's the exact same thing with CoopCrowd. People, we're going to make history. We are making history. Over 1 million people come September 1st. So it begins today. Getting on the phone, sharing from your heart, utilizing those peak interest scripts that I gave you from your heart, and getting people in front of the information. And I promise you, we'll make the kind of global change that we also desperately deserve and need. So what I'm going to do here real quickly, you guys, is I'm going to stop my screen share here. And I want you guys to hear from a few people.
Hey,
that
great.
Yeah.
Just before you pass it on, because I know we got some great people here that you're going to have to lay it on the table. I just want to drop a couple other nuggets here just before we get to those points, because you did such a great job in laying it out there. And one of the most important things that you talked about there is no excuses, right? Like, I mean, we should not have any excuses, because right now we've got everything at our fingertips, as I said in that poem, rhyme, whatever you want to call it, earlier on. Like, I mean, everything that we could possibly ever want in life is right here for us to grab and for us to take. And I made a couple of notes while you were going through that. And, and one of the things you talked about is, great leaders, Steve Jobs, and Steve Jobs may have been the greatest businessman ever. Like, I mean, he had the smarts, he had the brilliance, he had the technical wherewithal, and he was also a genius marketer. A lot of people said he was the worst person to ever that you'd ever want to be around. And in business, you don't do great things without ruffling a few feathers, right? If you want to, and I'm going to ruffle some feathers right now. Because if you want to stay where you are right now, then keep doing what you're doing right now. But if you want to do something different, it means that you gotta stop doing what you were doing. You can't take your friend and your friend says, that's not going to work, right? Forget that friend, because that friend is holding you back. You got to make these decisions on your own. And people tell me all the time, they say, David, you think too big. I tell them, no, you think too damn small, right? And CoopCrowd is the proof that impossible is just waiting to happen. Because who would have thunk 1 year ago, a year and a half ago when the pandemic hit, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, that we would be at a place where we are right now, where hundreds of millions of people have been displaced from their home. Hundreds of millions of people have been displaced from their job. And when they did that, they didn't provide any solution. They didn't provide any answer. They just left us and said, go to it, eat each other. That's not life. So when I planned when I first thought of CoopCrowd in 2006, I knew today was going to come. I didn't think there was going to be a pandemic, but I knew today was going to come. And in 2009, I coined the phrase PI, which stands for personal independent earnings. This is the age of the personal independent earner, because you could see exactly what was going on. You could see jobs being eradicated. You could see machines and technology taking over everything. And when you talked about, because you said there's a few spelling mistakes, Wednesday was the beta release. We wanted to get it into people's hands today, not tomorrow when everything's perfect. And even when you think everything is perfect and you launch it, it's still not perfect, because people are going to find things. So you have something right now in your hands that can change your life. The industrial age is dead. It died over a decade ago. And what does that mean, folks? It means that when you were born, most of you were born, you were told to go to school. Go to school for 18 years so that you can get a job and work for somebody else for 40 years. And while you're working those 40 years, you're told to work 40 hours a week. And when those 40 hours a week and those 40 years are done, they told you that you would be able to retire with 40% of your income. Let me tell you, folks, right now, 100% of your income is not enough. And to make matters worse, these big companies mismanaged your money. And now you're not even getting that 40% that they promised you. The pandemic was a blessing. It was a blessing because it introduced all of us to the 21st century. And in the 21st century, you got to rely on us. You've got to rely on your friends. You can't rely on big business. You can't rely on the government. You got to rely on your relationships. And each of us need to leverage those relationships to everybody's advantage, not to your advantage, not to that person's advantage, to everybody's advantage. And that's what CoopCrowd does. And when you log into your dashboard, you see the 3 daily steps. Those 3 daily steps will take you 3 minutes a day. You don't need to work 40 hours a week. You don't need to work for 40 hours. You don't need to work for 40 years. You put in those 3 minutes a day, we will change your life. And we'll do it together. When you get rich, you'll have rich friends. When your friends get rich, they'll have rich friends. That's what life is all about. It's about giving, sharing, and cooperating. And it's about the cooperative age. And that's where we are right now. I had to drop that nugget, Greg.
Absolutely. We appreciate you so much. Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate that so much. And just to really tie it up and put things even in perspective, I want you guys to hear from a few people, a few panelists, our global leaders, if you will, that are really making some things happen. But the reason why I chose some of these individuals, because these are 6- and 7-figure income earners, even from, offline as well as online as well. And I want them to give perspective in terms of why CoopCrowd and what they've seen it, why they were able to push other things to the side and devote time and attention to something as phenomenal as CoopCrowd. The first person I want you guys to hear from, I met him through this particular project right here. And you heard from him just the other day when I did the corporate call. He resonates confidence and understanding and wisdom. His background is pretty significant. Let me see if I even got this stuff here. He's been married for 32 years. He's from Nashville, Tennessee. He's an owner of 2 traditional brick and mortar businesses. Some of his clients include David Ramsey, Truett Cathy, the one that founded Chick-fil-A, and Ralph Lauren, and many others. So he's a real deal Holyfield here. He's a servant leader, and anytime I've called on him, he's been here and does an outstanding job. So I'd like to turn it over to Alan Delaney here real quick as he shares some pearls of wisdom to each and every one of you out there in the global community.
Well, thanks so much. Appreciate you having me on the call. Always a pleasure to speak to anyone who will listen, as my wife would say. But the reality of it is for me, I understand. I always pull it back here. Now, probably everybody on this call has heard this, right? McDonald's is what McDonald's is, not because they have the best cheeseburgers, but they have the best system. Literally, there's a McDonald's a mile from my house. My wife happens to like the coffee there, so I'll go pick her up a coffee. If there's 15 cars in line, I'm gone in a minute and a half. It is shocking to me how fast they get you in and out. Why? Because when you walk into a McDonald's, the shake machine's in the same place, the fryer's in the same place. Everybody's been trained on how to do that. They have a system that's just absolutely incredible. So when I've looked for other things, and I always, you know, I'm always looking for the system. The system has to be there. As a matter of fact, another business that I was in recently, their system is broken. They've got a great idea, but there's no system. That makes things very, very difficult. So one of the things that I was looking for, I actually wasn't looking, to be honest with you. I'm a busy guy, but someone who I respect greatly, who has a tremendous amount of integrity. Shanna Redding reached out to me and said, brother, you need to take a peek at this. And so I did, because it's a relationship, and I'm an old school guy. Relationships are important. So I took a peek, and I really liked what I saw. And I love 50-50, but I do understand the value and the power behind a 3x10 matrix completely and totally, because this other system that I was involved in was a broken 3x10. So when one really works, it can really, really work. So for me, my wife and I have been blessed because of her efforts over the past, I'd say 32 years, but she's been retired from what she's been doing. She's been doing ever since I met her, but to create a residual income. So I know that residual dollars are at least 10 times to 15 times more valuable to us than a dollar that I have to physically be involved in. So I'm looking for ways to earn residual income always. I'd rather have 10, 15 residual income streams that are small than one that is gigantic that requires all my time. Because at my age of 62, I don't know how many inches are left on the yardstick, right? I got to make good use of the time that God's going to give me, and none of us are promised any more time. So for me, that was the reason to get involved here. A system that works. Leveraged income is a beautiful thing. Passive residual income is a beautiful thing. I'll just give everybody a sort of a thing. I add this to my financial IQ. Okay. This is an elevation, a level up of everybody's financial IQ, something that none of us are really ever taught in school, right? We learn a lot of things. We've got this crypto space going on right now, which I've been involved in since 2011. We've got all kinds of different things where we need to elevate our financial IQ. I believe this is another and a significant means by which we can do exactly that. It's super important. Like I love the phrases that Greg uses, like the new normal, the great reset. Folks, this has been going on for years. That's how they do it. They sneak it in on you. You know, as long as you wake up, you can get your cup of coffee, get in your car and start it. It doesn't seem like anything's changing. Well, things are changing. We are on the precipice of great change. I think everybody can say that. And so it is important that you have the tools behind you in order to be prepared for such change. And I believe that this is one of them. And that's why I'm here. That's why I believe in it. That's why I'm willing to evangelize it to my friends, share it with everybody that I know that has a heartbeat. You know what they say, if it fogs a mirror. So that's where I'm at on it. I've got nothing more to say about it. I'm excited for the future, fired up for the 250 matrix. I mean, as soon as somebody said it's live, I clicked in and bought it. You know, again, blessed to be in the $4,000 wheelhouse. Just paid for it with my donation. So thank you to everybody on my team and those that I don't even know that actually bought that for my family. Bless you all. And I hope to be able to do the same for you someday.
Awesome. Hey, thank you so much for that, Alan. I mean, you bring so much wisdom to the table, and you're definitely one of the pillars in our community as well. And what I want to do, I want to keep it going here because I want you guys to hear different perspectives. And then I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up and talk some more about David T. Rosen, because I want you guys to understand what we have in our midst here. I truly need for you guys to understand that. But I want you to hear from a young lady that I've known for quite some time here. She also has a heart of gold, and she works tirelessly. She's a doctor. She's a gynecologist. I want you guys to hear from Dr. Lita Harris out of sunny California.
Hey. Hi there, Greg, and everyone else. Can you hear me well?
Loud and clear.
Hey. You got me just shaking in my bones. I'm at a whole nother level. And I never thought I could get to a whole nother level of excitement with this because, you know, as you said, back when we started back in January, 50/50 blessed me tremendously. And, you know, as a physician who had to go through 2020 with COVID and having to have my doors practically shut down because people couldn't come through the door, finishing up the year in financial crisis, and then having to just pray and ask for a breakthrough. And it came because you, Greg, shared it with Bridget and my sister Ursula. They shared it with me, my sister Vilka, and we all came in together. I'm gonna try to contain myself, okay, because of the genius and because of this system that Mr. Rosen has developed over the last couple decades and just refined it to the point where it works, and it worked. I've been able to give out $25,000 of donations from my digital wallet and receive tens of thousands more for myself to literally rescue my medical practice from financial crisis. It was amazing. Never in my life have I dealt with anything like this. And again, the system works, the system delivered based upon a principle of giving and sharing with others and being able to receive so that we can continue to sow seeds into other people's lives. The difference, of course, was the immediate, you know, when you do something and immediately, he said, you give and immediately, when you start bringing folks in, you immediately. So I was able to show that wallet. I mean, every time I flashed my wallet, okay, that showed people that this works. So we've been able to grow. You know, I reached out to my good friend Leilani, love you, sister. Reached out to Suzanne. They saw it, they ran with it. And again, debt has been tremendously reduced. But here we are now, right? You said $1 a day. $1 a day. You said to keep the bill collectors away. Okay. I am down the street with that. Okay. $1 a day keeps the bill collectors away, because see, the doctor thing was apple a day keeps the doctor away. Hey, $1 a day keeps the bill collectors away. And I'm trying to get them off my back. Okay. So, but I'm excited about this. I'm excited about September 1st, but even beyond September 1st, because with this crowd starting, I saw the numbers. I saw all the people that was in my, you know, my donors and everything. But guess what? I was really paying attention to between Wednesday and today, it's growing. In 3 days, I have 30 people in 3 days added. So I know some of those folks are not necessarily active, but I know who is active, and I'm seeing that the activity is growing, and that's in 3 days. So I can't imagine what's going to happen in 30 days, okay? And this is long-term. Me and my husband have ultimate goals to build our church. It's ministry for us, okay? It's ministry. We have ministry. We have people to serve. We have our doors to open up. So this is long-term for us. And I just want to say that this was an answered prayer. I don't trust in my own understanding. I trust in the Lord. I acknowledge him in all my ways, and I know he's making my path straight, and this is the path that I'm going to take. So I'm so grateful to you, David, Mr. Rosen. Greg, you just totally took your level of respect and everything to a whole nother level today. I'm serious. My level of respect for you as a leader among leaders, I didn't think it could go up a notch, but it went up a notch today. So I love this community. I love this family, y'all. Okay. Thank you all for the opportunity to share. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you so much for sharing, Dr. Lita Harris. And we have an incredible host of leaders all around the world. And we're going to go ahead and move on. I want you to hear from a gentleman that I also met through this project here. And like I said, we're attracting the highest of caliber of people from around the world. And this guy's also a multiple business owner as well, has a travel agency, has worked online, offline, the whole 9 yards. Anytime I've called on him, he's been there, you know, come hell or high water. I want you guys to hear from Isaac Moody. Hey, brother, take it away.
Wow. 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 The same thing I said the other day, right? Listen, people, listen, we've been around the world in II, okay? This thing is amazing. For those who actually get numbers, who actually get math, I know we had quite a few conversations, Greg and I and David, and let me tell you, when you hear Greg or David talk about these conversations are real, right? Yesterday was listen, okay, let's talk about this. Let's get this down because hey, let's get these numbers down. And when you understand the work that goes into it, it's not taken for granted. It's not taken lightly. There's a lot of prayer, and when you have people that are prayerful about things, knowing that they're not perfect, ladies and gentlemen, that's when you can obtain the truth. That's when you can get down to the nuts and bolts of what keeps this thing together, what's gonna make these wheels turn round and round. It's because of good people. And I've just truly been inundated with the people that I've been surrounded with, or better yet, that I actually look up to as far as leaders. When you talk about the Marsha Atleys and the Corey Sampsons and the Dap Dunbars and just the great people that, you know, are a part of what we're doing, you know, the Sandras and the Corey, listen, these people are well known for what they do, but also helping people. And ladies and gentlemen, when you put yourself on the back burner and put others ahead of you, Heavenly Father will put you first, right? You do the work of sharing, educating, and teaching others about a system which will allow you to become successful in more ways than one, to help you enlighten others to maybe those mental prisons that they're being boggled down with right now, today, because there are many people, like Greg said, that won't leave through the door. They won't go through the open door that has been presented to them. Why? Because their own mental illnesses of understanding logic and technology and learning new things is what's hindering them right now today, right? Those things will ensure that you don't grow beyond where you are. And that, as he said earlier, if you want to continue to do what you're doing, then continue to do that. But money will not stop moving over your head, under your feet, in front of you, or behind you. It's moving all day long, even while we're speaking right now. And when you have good leaders and those that can actually articulate what they're trying to convey, and the clarity is there, like Greg and I talked yesterday multiple times, to include David. This is where you get down to the meat and potatoes and understand what you're sharing, how you're going to share it, and what's going to come about. We have people right now that are deserving of vacations. You know, we had Miss Nicole call in from a beautiful place. She's on vacation. How many people would love to ensure that everyone they know can go on vacation, can do the things that they want to do? Maybe it's just paying a bill ahead of schedule, or taking, you know, just a small thing, taking your kid to a water park, just the small things. But remember, every little thing matters. And when you take those little things that matter to a lot of people and put it in the same bubble, I'm gonna tell you, you will create everlasting joy and happiness for the multitudes. And so, Greg, back to you, man.
Yeah, man, awesome words of wisdom. And Isaac is so right. We talked yesterday, and when I tell you that when that light bulb went off and he understood it, it didn't take him long. But once he got it, he was so, I had never seen him so jacked. He's like, I'm done. I'm about to talk to 500 people right now. He was just over the moon excited about CoopCrowd. So, hey, thank you for all that you do. The next person I want
Greg,
you guys. Yeah.
Just before we go to that next person, I wanted to talk about what Lita said. And thank you very much, Lita, for sharing what you said, because it was awesome. But what it did was it reminded me, which we haven't talked about on so far today, is the fact that we put We Prove It Free up there. right? Because we prove it free, ladies and gentlemen. You see, I know how great this system is. And not only do I know how great this system is, I'm putting it all on the line. I'm risking absolutely everything that I've done over the last 20 years. All my money, all my reputation, absolutely everything over the last 20 years. Because I want every single person who's a part of this Zoom right now, who's out there in the world, who is looking for something better, I don't want them to think whether or not this is going to work for them. I want them to know whether or not this is going to work for them. So because of the fact that I use real math and we use a real system, I was able to create a parallel platform. I call that parallel platform, We Prove It Free. It's an exact replica of CoopCrowd. And when I say it's an exact replica, I mean an exact replica based on real math. Now, we've all seen systems out there and opportunities where we get to try something before we buy it, right? You see, you go to a bank site and they've got, and they sell stocks and they have a stock exchange and so on and so forth, and say, hey, listen, let us show you how this works. We're going to give you $1,000 in play money. And that $1,000 in play money will allow you to invest into the stocks. So you say, okay, I'm going to put $330 into Apple. I'm going to put $330 into Google, and I'm going to put $340 into this flyer, right? And then all of a sudden it goes up, and that $1,000 turns into $2,000. So now you think you're a stud. You think you're a star. You think you're a master stock player. So you take real money, and then you go and try and duplicate it, but you can't. Because there is no mathematical certainty to what is going to happen on that stock exchange from 1 second to the next. However, there is mathematical precision to what we're doing here. So in that We Prove It Free, if you invite 3 people, and it's going to show you your results. If you invite 300 people, it's going to show you your results. If they invite people, it's going to show you your results. When things happen from above, when things happen from below, it shows you your exact results, not a guess, not some hyperinflated result, the exact results. And when you use the paid system, when you finally convince yourself that this system does exactly what we say it does, and you use the paid system, you get the exact same results. So what Lita was saying there, and this is why we launched this We Prove It Free. What Lita was saying there is that, since Wednesday, she's sitting there, she's still a little unsure about what's going on, but she's elated. And she's trying to figure out, what am I going to do next? Who am I going to talk to next? Like, what am I going to do? Right? She's just feeling it. But then she logs into her back office and she sees another 30 people there that she didn't do anything for. See, that is the beauty of this system. That is the beauty of this cooperative. You see, we each do a little to all receive a lot. Imagine those 3 people that you invite, or 30 or 300, because it's built for the people that have limited business skills, but it's also built for the studs and the studettes that have massive business skills. So if you invite 3 people or 300 people, you see those results right there happening right before your eyes. This system flat out works. And everything that I did to make this system something that you can count on, something that you can trust, was through my years of experience. Okay, so what makes a person not trust the system? Well, when they don't know what's going on. So we allowed you to prove it free. What else makes a person not trust the system? You think about all these high yield programs, all of these crazy systems out there. Well, actually, we won't even call them systems, because that's like an oxymoron. All of these things that are out there that say, well, we're going to give you 1% a day. Folks, think about this. What does 1% a day mean? It means that I'm going to give you 1,000 of my hard-earned dollars to somebody that I don't know, will never meet, don't even know what they look like. so that they can give me 10 bucks back a day. Does that make any sense? No. So the next thing that we needed to do to give you absolute confidence that this system is real and that there is nobody in amongst this system that is trying to take your money away is to give you immediate access to it. So no matter whether you believe me, no matter whether you believe Greg, Nalani, Isaac, Alan, or anybody else, you get to believe yourself because you get to try it for free. You get to try it until you buy it. You get to prove it. And then the next step is, so now you put your $84 in there or more. So the next step, the next litmus test is this. All right, well, let's see, right? So they said I got my money right away. So you put your money in there. At 101, you get a donation. You receive 100 bucks. At 101 in 1 second, you can take it out. So you don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe Greg. You don't have to believe anybody else. Believe yourself. This system flat out works. Needed to throw that in there. Thanks, Lita, for trying it and getting another nugget out of me.
Awesome. Appreciate that. And it really, really does. And so once again, I think about this, Isaac was talking about, traveling and everything like that. What a lot of people don't know is that, David Rosen is so used to traveling, every single month somewhere around the world. And so he's been up there in his science lab, up in his penthouse, putting all the pieces of the puzzle together. And so when you see his passion and his conviction, and oftentimes when we talk, he wants everybody to get it. And that's where it comes from. His whole purpose is he just wants everyone to get it. It blows his mind when people don't, and I'm the same way. We appreciate you for that, David. The next person I want you guys to hear from, he's like a brother from another mother. He's an icon within our community. He just brings so much to the table. He's a, multiple business owner as well. And that's what I want you guys to hear from people that are already successful in different parts of their lives, but they see what CoopCrowd can do. I want you guys to hear from Thomas Dubois as well.
Hey, thanks so much. And boy, David, I know how you're bubbling at the seams to just share on what Lita was saying there, because I've been bubbling at the seams this whole dang time, because you just go, come on, come on, whoa, and something hits you, and you just, there's passion in leadership, there's passion in people. I didn't always have that, I messed up my life for a lot of years with addiction, and tonight's UFC fights are in Houston, so it brought back a lot of memories for me, because I was on the streets of Houston with nothing, with absolutely 2 bags of clothes. They kicked me out of a rehab. I made bad mistakes over 20 years ago, but this year I celebrate 20 years of sobriety, and in that notion, God started to work in my life, and I started to accept that I didn't know crap about life, and that I needed a heck of a lot of help, and that what I didn't know, I needed to learn, and that I wanted to continue to learn. And in that process, somebody taught me how to dream, and network marketing is what taught me how to dream. I tell about all of those misgivings and all of those things in the book. But with that being said, when I think about the fighters of the fight tonight and all of the obstacles that they've had to go through, the wins, the losses, the getting punched in the face, I mean, come on, I get a little fired up about the journey because I've been on that journey. I'll never forget when network marketing was introduced to me and my first company, that I didn't realize that you don't get places unless you fight over an obstacle of self, not an obstacle of the company, not an obstacle of the I not dotted, or somebody talking about something that you didn't think they should have. I'm guilty of all of those things. I look at the I's not being dotted, and usually it's my I's not being dotted, So I get all of that, but $1 a day, I can't confuse too much to pay all my bills. I can't confuse that too much. I talk about easy peasy in my book. I can't confuse having somebody lay out some scripts for me in about 20 minutes that I can change my life with. I can't confuse all of that. I can't mess all of that up. And I like it when I can't mess it up, because then I can duplicate it. I always said back in the day, if my daughter can't do what I'm doing, then I don't want to do it. Well, my daughter's at the 4,000 level. So come on now, you know. My daughter is going to be able to talk to a friend about $1 a day and paying all their bills so that they can be stay-at-home moms. See, my daughter's passionate about being a stay-at-home mom because she's scared of what's going on out there. And I hate that that comes from a place of fear, but sometimes from that place of fear comes an answer and a passion for her to help other moms to have what they need to teach from home. And that's her thing, you know? And so that's great. So as me and my wife, we have date night on Saturdays, and guess what we do? We watch the fights. So everybody says, yeah, your wife doesn't like it. I said, you want to bet? She punches me during them. But no, so with that being said, it's really, really important that those fighters didn't get on stage tonight on UFC 264 because they didn't learn to dream and they didn't learn to conquer the obstacles, the small things. They, you know, I think all of these excuses of things that you spoke so well about is that the fence for my dreams is over my head. I got to step on those obstacles and step on those dreams so that I can see over the fence and start dreaming again. See, I needed my dreamer woken back up again. And CoopLife has woken my dreamer back up again, if you can't tell. If you can't tell, there's a little bit of passion coming from this 285-pound body. I didn't know if it was the energy drink or the Holy Spirit pounding on me, but I'm pretty sure it was the Holy Spirit. But everybody knows that I've been reading a book, and this just kind of says it all. And I don't care if you think I'm hyping it up or scoping it up or whatever, because I am. I'm hyping it up because I want your dream to be alive. And I'm reading right now that I need to open my dreamer back up, just like when I started network marketing, just like when I knew that I was at a certain level and that if I didn't fight to get to the next level, then I was going to be a quitter and I was going to be 3 feet from gold. Well, man, I love having gold. I love wearing gold. I want to make it to the gold, so I want to make it over it. So I'm reading, everybody knows I've spoke about it about 5 times. Live the life you've always wanted to dream of. And he just has another quick statement that I'm going to end with. I am a one-man mission to destroy the concept of keeping dreams inside and to yourself. I want to motivate as many people as possible to passionately pursue their dreams and watch them come to fulfillment. Boom! That's all I got.
Awesome, Tommy boy. I mean, we love and appreciate you, my brother. You bring so much passion and perspective to the table. And as I get ready to wrap some things up, I don't know this, Nalani, do you want to share a few words at all? Do you? I can never get away without Nalani sharing a few words because her perspective is so, it's like a lot of people that have been in the online world, and I think there's so much value in what she shares. So I want you guys to hear from someone that have the utmost respect for a serious builder and a lover of people. We call her the mama bear of the community, and that's Nalani Rood. Please.
Awesome. Thank you, Greg. I'm literally at a loss for words over that. I think that was the best training ever. I really do. I needed it so very badly. So if I need it, I know everybody. It was so valuable. I'm Nalani Rood. I am from Iowa. I am a super busy mom of 5, 25, 24, 22, 12, 10. So I've been at this a while. And when I got into this industry, I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, like Tommy was talking about. However, I knew I couldn't make it a hobby. Like I had the wolves at the door. And so I remember countless Google Hangouts. I mean, that dates me. We're on to Zoom now. Google Hangouts where I'd have babies on my lap. They couldn't see them on the screen, but I was changing diapers. And so everything I do, I need it to be something that a busy mom can do. I am dropping the kids off, picking them up. I'm in the bleachers, on the sidelines, something. And so I don't have a lot of time to waste, and I need to be as productive as I can. And so when we found this system, I was so badly broken. We had just come through a nightmare, and I needed a safe place to land. And so I think I really want to speak on that. You know, I'm going to land the plane, my testimonial on that. this has delivered everything for us, for our team. We have become whole again. If you are looking for a place that is safe, that is automated, that will deliver, it is all of that and more. It's safe. Come land your plane here, plant your flag, build a home. We would love to have you. It's absolutely safe. And I just know what it's done for myself, my family, and for my team. And the system doesn't know the difference, whether it's me or you. It's just going to work. It's going to work. And I am so pumped out of my head. I can't wait to get off this call and get to calling and smiling, dialing.
Absolutely.
So I'm grateful.
Absolutely. Thank you so much
Hey,
for that,
Greg,
Melania.
do you remember how we had to drag Melania
Oh my
across?
gosh.
Oh, I remember that. She hates remembering those days. You know, it's like many chapters ago. But listen, you guys, I want to go ahead and share something else. And I'm going to let David wrap this thing up because we definitely got to get on the phones, use those scripts, get as many people as you know and love on this 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time corporate overview, talking about CoopCrowd. But, you know, I was speaking about transparency, and I was talking about David T. Rosen and how it was a collision course for us coming together. And one of the things, and I also talked about the fact that the ability to observe without judgment is the highest form of intelligence. And when I observed this guy here and you really understand his story, you know, being homeless twice, can you imagine being homeless twice? And you got this great idea in the back of your head and you're doing everything humanly possible to get the world to understand that this is the hope that everyone's been looking for. And people just, they don't understand it. I can understand the frustration. I mean, you have a short fuse at times when you're trying to get the world to understand that this is so crazy. You guys are making it more difficult than it needs to be. I've got it here for you. And that is where he comes from. And if you understand that, then you can take everything with a grain of salt. I appreciate you so much for what it is that you do, for you standing strong for the last 20 years. And one of the things I want each and every one of us to understand is this, that we all have to grow. We're all on our path. Each and every one of us. I'm still growing. Each and every one of us is still growing. And it's amazing to see this man here still growing as a leader, as a company founder and owner. I'd love for him just to share his quick story about being homeless as we wrap this thing up here. If you don't mind, please take it away, David.
Yeah, thanks, Greg. And I didn't know you were going to do that, but thank you. You know, just before I talk about being homeless, I want to talk about why I do what I do. You see, I believe that we've all got a mission. Each and every one of us, when we're born, something was planted in us, and it's up to us to find that something that is planted in us so that we can deliver it to the world the way it's meant to be delivered. Some people are meant to be dishwashers, right? Not everybody has a seed implanted in them like Steve Jobs, right? But I knew what my seed was. My seed was all about helping people and helping you. My first act of helping somebody was when I was 2 years old. And I remember sitting at the dinner table, and, you know, we all remember sitting at the dinner table when we're kids, right? I remember sitting at the dinner table and my mom telling me that I can't get up from that dinner table until I finish this pork chop. And I'm thinking, and my mom went on to continue that story. And she said, think about all the starving people around the world who would love to have that pork chop. And at 2 years old, I went and I grabbed a face cloth because we didn't have paper towels then. I went and I grabbed a face cloth and I wrapped this pork chop in the face cloth and I gave it to my mom and I said, Mom, please give this to the hungry people. So that was my first act of giving. And I remember it to this point, to this day. And ever since then, I could tell you 100 different stories about things that I have done, things that I've thought about, and they all lead to the same thing. It's all giving because it's not about me. And when we all start to realize that it's not about you, that it's about others. And when you realize that it's about others and you put helping others first, something wonderful happens. You know, the universal laws, sometimes we talk about the universal laws. We got the give, share, and we got the receive, right? Those are three parts of the immutable laws that govern us all. And the universal law, and another one of the universal laws is reciprocity. You know, give and you shall receive. The more you give, the more you receive. Every action creates an even greater reaction, right? So I didn't understand that until, you know, you get a little older. And, you know, these things are going on your entire life. You know, you see someone, they drop a wallet, you run up and you pick up the wallet and you tap them on the shoulder and you give it to them. And, you know, they smile and they say thank you, and you walk away and you think nothing's going to happen. And then you know, something else happens. A lady loses her hat, or you see someone's having difficulty getting across the road, or you hold the door for somebody. You just simply smile at somebody. That's all doing good. And it all of a sudden hits you at one point in your life where you realize, holy cow, look at all these good things that are happening to me. So all these good things that are happening is because of the things that you did. Every action has an even greater reaction, right? So I'm not sure what I needed to learn when I was homeless twice, but I'm positive I needed to learn something, because here we are. So I'm not going to bore everybody with the stories about being homeless, but I will tell you that in 2001 I was homeless. I became homeless because I was in the middle of a fight for my daughter. Uh, 2012, I became homeless again due to illness. 2018, I got my health back. But one thing that I don't know why this happens. But one thing that you want to make sure that you never give up, and that's hope. So I know a lot of us right now feel hopeless. You know, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You don't know how you're going to get that food on your plate. You don't know how you're going to get that next home. I was watching the news earlier today and it said there's 11 million people in America right now that are about to be evicted. You know, it wasn't their fault that the pandemic hit. It wasn't their fault that they lost their income. It wasn't their fault that they lost their job. There's 11 million people that are getting ready to be put on the street. Yesterday, I was going for a walk and I walked under a bridge. I posted on my Facebook page. I walked under a bridge. And as I was walking under this bridge, it's a regular bridge. It's a regular walking bridge. As I was walking under this bridge, you know, somebody put sofas on in each little one of these little places where you walk under the bridge. People turn those into homes, and people purposely put those sofas there so somebody can have a home under the bridge in the middle of the street. That's their home. So bottom line is this. I've done what I can do to give people an opportunity to realize that there is something out there. And now it's up to you, right? It's not up to Greg. It's not up to Isaac or Nicole or Nolani or Santa or any of the other million people that we've touched so far. It's up to you. You either say, I'm going to try, I want a better life, this makes sense, and you're going to do the 3 steps. And you know, we've talked about the fact that there's 3 steps, right? There's not 2 steps, there's not 1 step, there's 3. If you do 1 step, then you shouldn't expect results. If you do 2 steps, then you shouldn't expect results. But if you do 3 steps, we guarantee results, right? 3 steps. 3 steps to a better life. 3 steps to a debt-free, stress-free, financially free existence. 3 minutes a day. 3 friends. 3 ways to receive. You know, everything's in 3s. I tried to keep it as simple and as memorable as I could, because, you know, the easier we make things, the easier it is for people to do. And here's what I know to be fact, is that right now we are the first to learn about what the cooperative age is all about. We are the first to learn about We Prove It Free. We are the first to learn about CoopCrowd. We are the first. We are the early adopters. We are the ones that are taking this to the rest of the world, which means that we have an opportunity, unlike the other people that aren't on this Zoom right now. That opportunity is that we know right now. And I hate using cliches, but right now I need to. You know, people say, well, what if you knew about Microsoft when Bill Gates was getting ready to take it public? What if you knew about Apple in 2002 when I was homeless at that time? Apple went down to 69 cents. Apple stock was 69 cents. I had no money. But I believed in Steve Jobs, and boy, oh boy, I wish I had some money at that time, because now Apple's the biggest company in the entire world. Look at Bitcoin. You got our crypto dude right there, Isaac. Look at Bitcoin. Look at cryptocurrency. You know, people say, it's a fad. You know, even Bill Gates makes mistakes sometimes. He said the internet was a fad, right? So we've got an opportunity right now to say to ourselves, am I going to keep doing what I've always been doing and keep getting what I've always been getting? Or am I going to say, you know what, I want something more. I need something more. I deserve something more. It's $1 a day. $1 a day. You can't even get a bottle of water for $1 a day. You're going to let one of your friends say, it's a pyramid scheme, it's a Ponzi scheme, it's this, it's that, and spoil your dream? Are you going to let an internet post that is complete fiction spoil your dreams? You know, 2/3 of the population don't believe that Jesus Christ is the Messiah. They say bad things about him, but he is. It's not going to. Those posts don't disturb your beliefs, right? So here we are right now at 1:23, Saturday, August 7th. Wednesday, September 1st. It's 3 weeks away. You're going to make this your most productive 3 weeks of the rest of your life, and the most productive 3 weeks that you've ever had in your entire life, because you want something more, because you deserve more, because you know you can have more, because you want to give to your family, because you want to give to your church, because you want to help your community, because you want to help all your causes, because you want to help your mom, you want to help your friends, you want to help your family. Are you going to let that pass by and do nothing, or are you going to do something? I already know for a fact that everyone that's on this panel right now is going to do something. Whether you do something or you don't, this panel is going to be successful. We are volunteering our time on these calls for free because we want to help you understand that life can and will be better by following 3 simple steps, putting in $1 a day and inviting 3 friends or more. It's not just words, it's not hype, it is fact. Time to drop mic and say, let's get busy with it.
Let's get busy with it. Listen, team, thank you so much for that, David T. Rosen. All the panelists, thank you so much for your contribution and everything that you guys bring to the table. So much love and respect for each and every one of you. We have a 2 p.m. Eastern time overview call. Now's the time for us to drop the mic, make those phone calls, let's pack it out, and let's start changing the world 3 at a time. God bless each and every one of you. And as I end every call, we're not just going to see you at the top. We're going to see each and every one of you over the top. Take care, everybody. God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Appreciate it, David.